Hello, dreamers. Welcome to another night of stories, where the world grows soft and quiet, and every breath carries you closer to rest. I'm Aurora, and tonight we'll step together into a peaceful corner of the city under a sky painted with moonlight. Here, you are safe. Here, the night wraps you in calm, and every gentle sound is a lullaby meant just for you. Before we begin, I want to say, if you enjoy this journey, if the calm washes over you like a soft wave, you can let me know in the comments what stories you'd like to hear next. And if you feel like helping our world, our story, grow even brighter, consider subscribing. Each time you do, it's like adding a tiny bit of magic to complete the honeymoon, keeping the harmony of our story glowing for all dreamers to enjoy. Now, let us begin. Tonight, we find ourselves high above the hum of the city, on a quiet rooftop bathed in silver light. The moon hangs full and round, spilling soft luminescence across the buildings and streets below. From here, everything seems slower, gentler, almost as though the world itself is sighing into sleep. 3 figures move gracefully onto the rooftop. The first is Rumi, her hair brushing softly against her shoulders, eyes bright even in the moonlight. She pauses at the edge, letting the cool breeze wash over her face. The wind carries with it the faint scent of jasmine from a nearby garden, mingling with the distant, comforting aroma of evening rain on the streets. It's a quiet night, a gentle night, perfect for a song. Mira follows, light on her feet, almost gliding across the rooftop as if the very air beneath her supports her. She hums softly, a delicate tune that flutters in the night air, weaving around Rumi's stillness, creating a sense of gentle anticipation. You can imagine that hum, soft and tender, wrapping around your own shoulders like a warm blanket. And then Zoey appears, the youngest of the 3, her eyes sparkling as she carries a small, well-worn music stand and a notebook filled with melodies. She moves with quiet enthusiasm, careful not to disturb the stillness of the rooftop. Even the smallest sound she makes seems part of the night's lullaby, a rhythm meant to calm and soothe anyone who listens. Together, they settle into a small circle at the center of the rooftop. Rumi lays out her instrument. Mira smooths the edges of her notebook, and Zoey opens hers to the first page, the notes catching the silver light of the moon. They do not speak much at first. There is no need. The night is their conversation. The soft brush of wind, the distant hum of the city, the gentle rustle of leaves from a nearby rooftop garden. As they prepare, you may notice the small magical touches that make this rooftop their sanctuary. A single potted plant, thriving despite the height, leans gently in the breeze. Its leaves shimmer faintly, reflecting the moonlight like tiny mirrors. A lantern hangs loosely from a low post, flickering in a slow, steady rhythm, casting gentle shadows that dance across the surface of the rooftop. And above, the stars peek through the velvet sky, twinkling as if curious about the quiet gathering below. Rumi lifts her instrument and strums a single note. It hangs in the air, lingering just long enough to settle into your mind, soft and warm. Mira hums along, blending perfectly, her voice gentle, like the hush of wind through trees. Zoey taps lightly on her notebook, the faint rhythm echoing like a heartbeat. And in that moment, you are part of their circle. You can feel the calm wrapping around you, pulling the edges of the day away, inviting you to breathe slowly, deeply, and softly. The girls glance at each other, sharing a quiet smile. There is no rush here, no hurry. They are present in this moment, and you are too. You can feel the sense of safety, the knowledge that nothing urgent or loud intrudes. The city may bustle far below, but here everything is gentle. Everything is still. Rumi's eyes drift toward the horizon, where the city lights twinkle faintly. She inhales the night air, the soft scent of jasmine, the subtle hint of the sea, carried on a faraway wind. The world feels expansive, and yet intimately close, as though the moon itself leans down to watch them, to watch you and whisper that it is safe to rest. Mira adjusts her position, settling on a soft patch of rooftop grass that grows in a small corner. She closes her eyes for a moment, letting the night settle into her shoulders. She hums once more, a slow, rolling note that seems to ripple outward, touching every surface, every sound, every shadow. You might imagine that note wrapping around you, like a silk ribbon of sound that eases your thoughts, loosens your shoulders, and quiets your mind. Zoey carefully opens her notebook, her fingers tracing the music as though greeting an old friend. She hums softly, then whispers a single lyric, almost like a secret meant only for the night. Her voice is so gentle, it feels like a lullaby carried on the wind, floating down to the streets below, brushing the tops of the buildings, resting softly on rooftops, and finally reaching you. The trio begins to play together, slowly, gently, each note deliberate but soft, each sound a brushstroke painting the night. You can imagine their music rising and falling like waves, flowing over you, filling you with a sense of calm and warmth. Each vibration carries a quiet magic, a gentle energy meant to soothe and protect, much like the Hanmoon that watches over them in their world. As the music continues, Rumi glances at the edge of the rooftop and notices the faint outline of the cityscape. Lights twinkle in distant apartments, reflecting in the quiet puddles on the streets. She smiles softly, knowing that even far below, people are winding down for the night, preparing to rest. And now, you too are part of this quiet evening, part of the soft magic that hums through the night air. Mira reaches over, adjusting a small lantern, letting its gentle glow spread across the rooftop. Shadows lengthen and stretch, but they do not frighten. Instead, they sway in time with the music, joining in the lullaby. Zoey adds a soft tap, a tiny rhythm that threads through the melody, steady and reassuring, like a heartbeat. The moon above hangs like a quiet guardian, its silver light spilling over the rooftop where Rumi, Mira, and Zoey sit together. The city below murmurs softly, distant traffic and the occasional hum of streetlights blending into a serene backdrop. Here, the world feels slowed, softened, a place suspended between wakefulness and dreams. Rumi lifts her instrument again, her fingers brushing lightly over the strings. A single, gentle note rises, holding in the air as though tasting the cool night. Mira closes her eyes for a moment, letting the sound wash over her, and then hums a low, soft harmony. The note intertwines with Rumi's, forming a quiet conversation of sound that seems to stretch outward, touching every shadow on the rooftop. Zoey taps lightly on her notebook, creating a subtle rhythm, barely more than a heartbeat. The sound blends with the strings and hum, forming a gentle, flowing melody. You can imagine it like a small river of sound, winding its way across the rooftop, through the night air and into your own quiet space. As the trio begins to play together, there is no need for words. The music speaks for them, each note a whisper, a sigh, a soft brush of emotion. Rumi closes her eyes, feeling the vibrations ripple beneath her fingers. She leans back slightly, letting the moonlight fall across her face. And in that light, her expression is calm, almost dreamlike. Mira hums again, this time stretching the note slowly, deliberately, letting it rise and fall like a gentle wave. She shifts slightly, the soft fabric of her outfit rustling in the breeze, and the sound becomes part of the music. Every movement, every breath, becomes part of the rhythm. Zoey leans forward, flipping a page in her notebook. She hums a quiet counter melody, letting it dance delicately above the main notes. Her voice is soft and playful, weaving through the sound like moonlight on rippling water. You can picture it curling around you like a warm, protective ribbon, encouraging your body and mind to relax. The rooftop is alive with gentle energy. A lantern sways slightly, its light flickering over the girls' instruments and faces, and the shadows it casts seem to dance to the music. Even the small potted plant in the corner seems to respond, its leaves quivering ever so slightly as though listening. Every tiny sound, the brush of fingers across strings, the soft tap of Zoe's rhythm, Mira's humming, blends into a cocoon of calm. Rumi opens her eyes slowly, glancing at her friends. Mira is watching her with a soft, contented smile, and Zoe's eyes sparkle as she hums a new, tiny melody that floats above the others. Rumi lifts her voice gently, a soft flowing note that blends with Mira's harmony and Zoe's rhythm. The music grows in layers, but never loud, never hurried, always gentle, always soothing. You can imagine sitting there with them, perhaps leaning against the cool surface of the rooftop, feeling the music drift around you like a cloud. The moonlight brushes over your skin, soft and warm, and the distant hum of the city becomes a lullaby, blending with the melody from their instruments. Every note seems to slow your heartbeat, soften your thoughts, and invite the night to wrap around you like a blanket. Mira stretches her arms above her head for a moment, letting out a quiet sigh, and the sound flows into the music as though the air itself is joining in. Zoey giggles softly, a barely there sound that mixes with the melody, adding a delicate spark of life to the quiet night. Rumi smiles, feeling the gentle rhythm of friendship, music, and calm. The three of them begin to experiment with tiny variations, little flourishes of sound that rise and fall like gentle waves. Rumi plucks a string slowly, letting it resonate, while Mira hums a soft, wavering harmony. Zoey taps lightly on the notebook again, a quiet heartbeat threading through the melody. The music flows naturally, without pressure, without expectation. Just a soft, nurturing conversation between friends in the night. You can imagine the sounds stretching out, echoing faintly off nearby rooftops, wrapping the city in a soft, musical glow. The breeze carries it gently downward, brushing against windows, trees, and quiet streets, brushing your ears, your shoulders, your heart. Every note is a gentle nudge, reminding you that this is a safe place, a calm space, a moment to rest and breathe. Rumi pauses for a moment, her hands still on the strings. She closes her eyes and listens to Mira and Zoey, letting their harmonies guide her. The music is no longer just sounds. It is a feeling, a tide of comfort and warmth that rises slowly, carrying you gently along with it. Mira leans back, letting the music settle around her, softening with every breath. Zoe's fingers trace lightly over the notebook, adding tiny, imperceptible accents to the melody. You might imagine the notes as tiny sparks of light, drifting lazily in the air. wrapping around your mind and inviting it to rest. The girls continue like this, layer upon layer of soft sound, until the music becomes a gentle, continuous hum. A lullaby made by friendship, moonlight, and quiet magic. Every note, every hum, every tap is a small thread, weaving a calm net around you, letting the day's worries slip through the gaps and fall away. You may notice that the moon seems to shine a little brighter, as if approving, as if acknowledging the peaceful magic they create. The lanterns sway gently in the breeze, casting moving shadows that are not sharp or frightening, only soft and slow, in harmony with the music. Even the stars above seem to pause and listen, twinkling faintly in time with the melody. As the melody winds down, Rumi, Mira, and Zoey exchange soft smiles, knowing no words are needed. The music itself has said everything: comfort, calm, presence, safety. You are part of it too, tucked gently into the rhythm, wrapped in the silver light of the moon, carried along by the soft pulse of friendship and song. If you are still awake, dreamers, take a slow, deep breath with me now. Let the calm wash through your body. Feel the music echo in your chest, the moonlight brushing your skin, and the quiet rooftop stretching endlessly around you. You are safe. You are held. You are part of this gentle night. And if you'd like, you can leave a small thought in the comments about what melodies or moonlit adventures you'd like to hear next. Each one helps complete the Hon Moon, keeping our shared world calm, gentle, and bright for every dreamer who visits. And if your heart feels like it, touching that subscribe button adds a little extra glow, a little extra warmth to the magic we create together. The girls finally lay their instruments down, stretching slightly, letting the final notes drift into the night. Rumi takes a last breath. Mira hums a tiny final harmony, and Zoey taps the notebook softly, a quiet farewell to the music. The music has faded into the soft, lingering hum of the rooftop night. Rumi, Mira, and Zoey rest on the cool surface, the moonlight spilling gently over them, wrapping the rooftop in silver calm. The city below continues its quiet rhythm, distant hums and soft lights blending into the background of this serene evening. Here there is no hurry, no tension, only the gentle rhythm of friendship, the soft brushing of the night wind, and the quiet presence of the moon above. Rumi leans back, letting her fingers rest lightly on the strings of her instrument. She gazes upward, watching the stars twinkle faintly, each one a tiny distant beacon. The moon reflects softly in her eyes, and for a moment everything feels still, as if time itself has paused to watch over them. "It's so quiet tonight," she whispers, her voice almost blending into the breeze. "Like the world is holding its breath." Mira stretches slowly, yawning with a soft, contented sigh. She rolls onto her side, facing Rumi and Zoey, her expression gentle and playful. "I like nights like this," she murmurs. "No schedules, no rehearsals, just us and the moon. I think it's my favorite kind of music, even without instruments." Zoey giggles softly, her voice a delicate, twinkling sound that seems to mingle with the moonlight itself. She props herself up on her elbows, notebook resting nearby, and watches Mira and Rumi with curious eyes. "You mean this kind of music?" she asks, and her fingers move in tiny, rhythmic taps on the rooftop, echoing like a heartbeat. "The kind you feel in the quiet?" "Yes," Rumi says, smiling gently. "It's a different kind of music. One you can breathe with, one that floats around you instead of rushing forward. It's the music of stillness." Zoey nods, letting her hands rest in her lap. "I like that," she whispers. I think I could listen to this forever." And so they settle into a gentle rhythm, not of notes or chords, but of a quiet conversation, soft laughter, and shared memories. The wind brushes lightly against their faces, carrying the faint scent of evening blooms and the city below. Each exhale feels like a wave of calm, and each inhale pulls in the night's quiet energy, letting it fill their chests and minds. Rumi begins to speak, her voice soft and reflective. "Do you remember our first rooftop rehearsal?" she asks, eyes still on the moon. "I was so nervous. I thought I would never be able to play like this, with you both beside me." Mira smiles, her eyes crinkling at the corners. "I remember," she says softly. "And I was trying not to trip over my own feet while dancing on that tiny space. But we did it, didn't we?" Zoey laughs lightly, the sound as delicate as the whispering wind. "We did. And somehow it felt like the world paused just for us. That's what I love about nights like this. It's just us, the moon, and the music we create together." The girls fall silent for a moment, letting the quiet stretch between them. It is a comforting silence, full of understanding and trust. You can imagine it settling over you as well. Dreamer, soft, protective, like a gentle hand resting on your shoulder. The city hums far below, a lullaby of distant lights and faint echoes, but here, on this rooftop, you are cocooned in warmth, calm and gentle companionship. Rumi smiles again, turning slightly to Mira and Zoey. "I think nights like this remind me why we do what we do. Not just the music, not just the melodies or the songs, but this, moments like this, quiet, simple, shared." Mira nods, her eyes reflecting the silver glow of the moon. "It's the small things," she whispers. "A laugh, a smile, a soft note in the night. That's where the magic really lives." Zoe leans back, letting the breeze brush her hair across her face. "I think it's funny," she says, "how something so quiet can feel so big. Like the world is holding us, or like the stars themselves are leaning in to listen." Rumi laughs softly, the sound barely more than a whisper, mingling with Mira and Zoe's quiet chuckle. The laughter is soft, gentle, a balm for the day's weariness. It drifts across the rooftop, bouncing lightly off the lanterns, the potted plants, the tiny patches of grass, and into the night air, where it mingles with the rustle of leaves and the hum of the city below. They continue sharing stories, each one smaller, quieter than the last, yet somehow more meaningful. Tales of little mishaps during rehearsals, forgotten lines of lyrics, moments of clumsiness that now bring laughter instead of frustration. You can imagine yourself sitting beside them, wrapped in the moonlight, hearing their voices, feeling the warmth of friendship in every soft word, every gentle laugh. The rooftop becomes a world of its own. The moonlight paints gentle patterns across the surface, highlighting every small detail. The shimmer of Rumi's instrument, the curve of Mira's smile, the sparkle in Zoe's eyes. The lantern flickers slowly, casting shadows that sway in harmony with their quiet conversation. Even the potted plant seems to lean toward them, its leaves catching the light, as if sharing in their calm and gentle joy. Rumi leans back fully, gazing up at the stars. "It's funny," she whispers, "how a night like this can feel like the first note of a song. Soft, hesitant, but full of possibility. Like anything could happen, but everything is exactly where it should be." Mira hums a quiet agreement. "Exactly," she says. And it's the quietest notes that sometimes matter the most. They're the ones that linger, the ones that stay with you when everything else fades. Zoey smiles, her voice soft and almost shy. I like that, she whispers. I want to remember nights like this. The music, the laughter, the moon, and the way it makes me feel calm, safe, and happy. And you, dreamer, can feel it too. The gentle hum of the rooftop, the soft notes of invisible music lingering in the air, the shared warmth of three friends wrapped in moonlight, and quiet laughter. Each breath you take draws in the calm, each exhale releases tension, letting you sink further into the quiet, protective embrace of the night. Rumi, Mira, and Zoey continue their conversation in hushed tones, each story a small thread, weaving the rooftop into a tapestry of safety and serenity. The moon reflects softly on the instruments. The lanterns flicker gently, and the stars lean down to listen. Every sound is a lullaby, every laugh a soft note in a melody of peace. And as you imagine it, dreamer, you are part of that melody too. You are sitting with them on the rooftop, wrapped in silver light, feeling the soft energy of their music, their friendship, and their laughter. You are safe. You are calm. You are carried gently towards sleep, one quiet note at a time. The music has faded completely now, leaving only the soft hum of the city far below and the gentle whisper of the night breeze. Rumi, Mira, and Zoey stretch slowly, letting the cool moonlight brush their faces and arms, feeling the calm settle deep into their bones. Rumi smiles softly at her friends, her eyes reflecting the silver glow of the moon. It's been a peaceful night, she whispers. Exactly what we needed. Mira nods, letting out a quiet, contented sigh. It feels like the rooftop itself is holding us, she murmurs. Safe, calm, like we can breathe for the first time in days. Zoey giggles lightly, brushing a stray lock of hair behind her ear. I love nights like this, she whispers. Just quiet, soft, and gentle. The perfect end to a busy day. The three of them lean back side by side, letting the night embrace them. The moon above shimmers softly. The lanterns flicker their last gentle light, and even the stars seem to pause, twinkling quietly in time with the calm of the rooftop. And now, dreamer, you can rest too. Feel the warmth of their friendship, the soft glow of the moon, and the gentle music lingering in your mind. You are safe. You are calm. You are carried gently into sleep, tucked beneath a blanket of silver light and quiet magic. If you enjoyed tonight's Rooftop with Rumi, Mira, and Zoey, make sure to like the video, and don't forget, every subscribe helps. Complete the honmoon, keeping this gentle world alive for all dreamers. Until next time, good night, and let the calm carry you softly into your dreams.